Have you ever seen the animated tween television show Total Drama? It's pretty funny, and aside from a deductive escapade here and a SpongeBob diagnosis there, the stereotypical incarnations that wander throughout this TV show bring me some of the greatest intrigue as of late on my channel. I've diagnosed Chris, Heather, Chef, Izzy, Dawn, and Mike, which brings me finally to Ezekiel. This sheltered and confused boy was desperate for approval and fame, desiring coolness to compensate for that which he lacks. But I'm not here to diagnose his humanity. God, no. Nothing so typical as that today. I'm here to literally diagnose his condition, because somebody has to, of course, and this seems to be understandably high in demand. Hello, I'm the Theorizer, and okay, what the hell happened to Ezekiel? Let's recap. In Season 1, he was eliminated from the show first. He was far too sheltered and confused to understand anything that was going on around him, as he was raised on an isolated farm. He considers the loser paradise nearby Total Drama Island to be some sort of reward, but it is, not. He is subjected to the torments of sideline living during the second season, Total Drama Action. In Season 3, he was brought back again, and was cocky throughout the entirety of the first challenge, being abandoned by everyone before nearly getting them killed, and then directly costing them the challenge by basically feeding their reward to a crocodile. He is eliminated immediately by his team and thrown out of the plane, which he somehow latches onto the outside of. Throughout the season, he is seen in shadows as a sort of Easter egg for attentive fans. Midway through the season, he is seen panicking amidst the rats, desperate for any ounce of food he can find. A little while later, Chris uses him in a challenge where he has to hunt the remaining contestants, but he fails. We finally see what he looks like. His hair is falling out, his skin is turning green, and he's speaking in animalistic growls. They launch him out again, but he latches on again, still desperate to win the $1 million at the end. We see him occasionally deteriorating more and more, until in one of the last challenges of the season where the contestants have to hunt him. Why? Well, quite simply because, oh my god, the f***. His hair is gone, he has claws, his teeth are jagged, and he's basically an animalistic abomination, a calculating predator. They ditch him in Africa only for him to latch onto the plane yet again. He later escapes before the plane blows up in Drumheller and is found being transported by Total Drama's staff, meaning Chris was still hoping to use him in challenges. He manages to make his way to Hawaii with the rest of the gang, and in the finale, he rips away the case and falls into a volcano, having finally touched the $1 million. The volcano erupts, and he goes flying out, crashing through Chris's boat and sinking it, before swimming to safety with the others. He is seen alongside the others later, but sneaks back onto the island during Season 4, where he terrorizes the new cast with his mutations gained from the now toxic island. He can control animals now and has acid spit, but still has the bare remains of a human mind, enough to comprehend people's intent and reciprocate intent back. He manages somehow to survive the mine explosions and the crazy finale, is presumably evacuated by Chris during the government's detox of Wawanakwa, and then is brought back for the All-Stars season, simply to be mocked and sent away immediately. He sneaks his way back into the mine, and the final battle occurs, where he faces off against everyone after kidnapping Chris in the 100th episode. He escapes after the island sinks, and he winds up amidst the treasure trove of mutants on Boney Island, where he is worshipped and beloved by the less intelligent animal denizens. Holy damn, this show is dark. His poor family. It's like Zeke sold his soul to Chris or something. Another time. Right now, we must diagnose what on earth happened to him. Malnutrition. As someone with malnutrition caused by an autoimmune disease, I can tell you, it renders you quite ill. Clearly Ezekiel is suffering. He got enough rat food to not die, but not enough food to maintain his required health. Honestly, his life seems horrendous, though. He clearly didn't eat enough to evade all sorts of anemia. As someone with iron deficiency anemia caused by an autoimmune disease. I can tell you, it is absolutely exhausting, and I have no idea how I can run on 50% of normal hemoglobin and still make such YouTube videos. Ezekiel's completely bloodshot, his hair's fallen out, and his skin has warped into a greenish hue. His teeth are falling out, he's had his ear bitten off, and he has liver spots, likely from being in the sun if he's hanging outside of the plane often, or somehow it could be just a mere reference to the fact that his liver is likely messed up. And as someone with a liver problem here and there caused by an autoimmune disease, I can tell you liver issues are scary. Dear God, it's like I'm halfway to Ezekiel. Ezekiel's total lack of nutrition, total lack of human contact, and total inhuman self-destruction is what leads him to become extremely warped and molded by his animalistic surroundings. He becomes a feral predator to catch rats. His mindset and lack of nutrients led to a lack of oxygen in his brain, which led to total confusion and pure focus, entrancing him with the desperate life he lived for weeks on end. He's become Gollum for the $1 million prize. Simple. He's a calculating human who has failed to maintain verbal contact with everyone else. He's become engrossed in predatory instincts to keep him alive, and the abomination he has become somehow survives falling into a volcano. Alejandro required over a year inside of what can only be described as a walking, beeping intensive care unit. It's some sort of miracle that Ezekiel must have managed to somehow climb aside to the rocks after falling through the lava, but such an event would burn his skin completely, and if somehow not kill him, then render him entirely devastated and probably comatose or something. He lands in the ocean at the end of Season 3 and returns to the island in Season 4, where he is mutated. He regains some more intelligence and learns to control the animals around him. His saliva increases in acidity, they all fight him, and he ends up on Boney Island where he is loved and worshipped by his mutated kin. This Boney Island fate is of course from the bonus footage, which, bonus footage fuels me. Theory fodder incarnate. So, he has liver issues, kidney issues, brain issues, issues likely everywhere from his brain to his spleen, and that's how he is what he is. Anemically confused and environmentally conditioned, but something tragic just hit me. His parents. They live out on a farm, desperate to find their son again. Ezekiel's photograph is seen throughout the series on milk cartons, wanted posters. It's saddening, really. His parents have no idea what's happened to him. Chris is the devil. Ezekiel is essentially soulless, and the show pretty much owns him at this point, as they immediately start transferring him around with the other animals on the plane during Season 3. It's sad, and I can only imagine what these parents are going through, considering it's been, 2, 3, 4 years from World Tour to the Redonkulous race? His posters are all over the place, and I'm not sure anyone knows that he is trapped on Boney Island still, ever warped by Chris and the producers. So, Ezekiel's life has been recapped. I've diagnosed his physical condition and how his obsessive and underdeveloped mental state was easily warped by said malnutrition and isolated surroundings. Gollum. Though I've never seen or read Lord of the Rings, I hear Zeke is a reference. His parents still look for him. He is property of the show. He exists among mutants. His happy ending is bittersweet and a nightmare for his parents. I still need to analyze Scarlet from Pacateo Island, but I really want to diagnose Blanley and Alejandro too. Those don't appear as theorizable, but believe me, they are. Blanley appears in the Redonkulous race as well, and I need to know her life story. In the card in the top right corner now, I will place a poll. I would like you to vote for what theory you'd like next. Make sure to subscribe, I make lots of these theories, and hit the bell. Hopefully YouTube will avoid sweeping me in with these new rules about children's content. I often discuss animated things, but I am distinctly PG-13. Until the next diagnosis...